Penguin's Breath is a beautifully illustrated book designed for 4 to 7-year-olds. The author, Debbie Netley, is a meditation teacher certified by Dharma Moon and Tibet House and trained by Mindful Schools to teach children. Find Penguin's Breath at your favorite online bookstore. That's PENGWEES, Breath by Debbie Netley.
Hi, and welcome to Ram Dass Here and Now. I'm Raghu Marcus. We have a great talk from Ram Dass from 1987, October actually, called The Path of Awakening, and I'm going to get into it in a minute, introduce it. Meanwhile, I have a couple of announcements. One of them is about our new partner, Gaia TV, and they are streaming as we speak and have been the last couple of months, Becoming Nobody. And they're a wonderful platform for consciousness and spirituality content, and really transformational content. I would suggest that you all check it out at Gaia.com, GAIA.com/BeHereNow. And there's a lot more there, obviously, than just the Becoming Nobody with Ram Dass. They also have a couple of other pieces of media from Ram Dass that are great, and we are looking to do much more with them to provide content for their platform. And again, check it out, Gaia.com/BeHereNow. And also, I want to let everybody know about just a fantastic new book from a woman named Valerie Kaur, a Sikh woman Sikh, but they pronounce it sick. So that was something I learned when I just talked to her, because I did a podcast with her on mind rolling, which will be out in the next few days after this particular podcast with Ram Dass. And basically, well, first of all, it's called See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love. And Valerie has been involved in social justice for a very long time, both as a lawyer, as a documentary filmmaker, and activist. But this book has got so many different levels. It's got real inner social action as well as outer social action, which is core to what Ram Dass has been all about all of the decades that he was teaching in the West. And I can't more highly recommend this book. It's just out, and you'll be able to hear her on the Mind Rolling podcast, as I said, and there'll be links and so on. There'll be a link here on Ram Dass on the show notes for this particular episode. So that's it for our announcements, and on to the Path of Awakening. So basically, the premise here is we have all of us that are on the path touch states of transcendence, right? How? Could be, obviously, one of the major ways for us back in the day was through psychedelics. But it was, for me, my initial transcendence was through a piece of music, of sitting in a club. I don't know how I got in there at 15 years old with John Coltrane, and just went out. My favorite things. He played that song, and that was it for me. So, it can be a book, it can be a teacher, it can be a dream. There are so many ways that we all touch that state. And once you realize that, as Ram Dass says, once you realize that there are other realities other than the one that you are familiar with, everything changes, right? Everything changes. You're on a path to freedom at that point. And of course, one of the pitfalls is that, it gets to the point where sometimes you just kind of want to go back and get lost in that drama and the excitement of the habitual patterns because we're used to them and they kind of feel comfy. But ultimately, the old style of taking your ego so seriously in all of those circumstances, from habitual patterns to neurotic tendencies, it just falls away. It's an amazing thing. Absolutely amazing thing, And what else? Here's something that really Ram Dass pointed to that really is relational with what's going on today. He said, so, there's no way you can't not do anything, right? Because you come to think, okay, I'm thinking this pandemic and everything else that's going on now, I just want to get in bed and put a pillow over my face. But that's still an action, right? So there is no not doing anything. And the question is, what's the form? And that's what he talks about in this talk. What form is that going to take, And I think, as he says, once incarnation, it's a vehicle. Everything that happens to us in this life is a vehicle for liberation. And that's what our business here is, right? Grist for the mill, he called it in one of his books. And I would add that liberation includes all humans to be liberated, which is the Bodhisattva vow from Buddhism. I'm not going anywhere until everyone is free. And this vast interconnectedness that we are feeling these days through not just the pandemic, but the economic deprivation of brothers and sisters and the obvious racial injustice that's going on right now and the protests against them and the wake-up call that's serving. This is so self-evident. That liberation includes all humans. And, we just all got to quiet down. And only through quieting down, which is through practice, meditation, other practices, whatever they are, then we start to act in alignment with our Dharma, as Ram Dass puts it, the way of things. So you take whatever is on the plate and process it in order to become free. What else? Oh, there's some great aphorisms here from him. He's so good at that stuff, isn't he? It's incredible. No one who has not sacrificed their suffering, right, can do this work, which is just to give huge amounts of space and embrace around what we encounter on a day-to-day basis. That's what sacrifice is, in my mind. Which is, you don't milk and identify with it, is what he says in the talk as well. All very important things. And one of the most crucial things that I heard in this talk is from him, which really relates to the path of awakening, of being woke, as they say. The more you're rooted in emptiness, the more your human heart is available. And to me, emptiness is a big word. It's a primary term in Buddhism. And I always like to repeat what Bob Thurman has said as a definition for emptiness, which is emptiness is the womb of bliss. Right? So it's a very big thing. It's a very big thing. But as a more relative thing, talking about it in this particular quote from Ram Dass, it's for me the letting go of the self-interest. I find that is the biggest impediment to opening up to being able to embrace suffering, opening up to be able to have an undefended heart, right? So once you start to let go, and you see it, if you just start to think, in the situations arise where suddenly somebody is in need around you, and mostly we have a knee-jerk reaction to go help that person or that situation. And as soon as we do that, we're letting go of our the thinking about ourselves that we do all day long. We let go of that in the moment that we are ready to help somebody else. So once that, and of course that has to be nurtured again through practice, and once that happens, then that heart becomes way more available and way more undefended. So I love that. So, yep, Path of Awakening. Another great talk from Ram Dass. I mean, there's, I don't know if any of you out there, we have been putting out a wonderful thing that comes from our development director, Rachel Fisher, at ramdass.org. Every week, she's been assembling different talks, blogs, videos, not just from Ram Dass, but from our Be Here Now network as well. And it's called Resources for Resilience. If you haven't seen it, or if because you haven't noticed and the stuff coming from Ram Dass Love Server members going into spam bucket, get in there and change that out, or do go to ramdass.org and put your email address in, because there's some really helpful stuff that is being shared. So highly recommend that. And we're going to see you next time on Ram Dass Here and Now on Be Here Now Network. Oh, yeah, Be Here Now Network's got a couple of new podcasters coming along. One is Nikki Walton. Check her out. Wonderful, wonderful young woman who just started out with us. And coming soon is
beyond all polarities, I am. Let the judgments and opinions of the mind be judgments and opinions of the mind, and you exist behind that. Ah, so. Ah, so. It's really time for you to see through the absurdity of your own predicament. You aren't who you thought you were. You just aren't that person. And in this very lifetime, you can know it. Right now. The real work you have to do is in the privacy of your own heart. All of the external forms are lovely, but the real work is your inner connection. you're quiet when you meditate, if you truly open your heart, just quiet your mind. Open your heart. Quiet the mind, open the heart. How do you quiet the mind? You meditate. How do you open the heart? You start to love that which you can love and just keep expanding it. You love a tree, you love a river, you love a leaf, you love a flower, you love a cat, you love a human. But go deeper and deeper into that love. Till you love that which is the source of the light behind all of it, behind all of it. You don't worship the gate, you go into the inner temple. Everything in you that you don't need, you can let go of. You don't need loneliness, or you couldn't possibly be alone. You don't need greed because you already have it all. You don't need doubt because you already know. The confusion is saying, I don't know. But the minute you are quiet, you find out that in truth you do know. For in you, you know. Plane after plane will open to you. I want to know who I really am. As if in each of us there once was a fire. And for some of us, there seem as if there are only ashes now. But when we dig in the ashes, we find one ember, and very gently we fan that ember. Blow on it. It gets brighter. And from that ember we rebuild the fire. Only thing that's important is that ember. That's what you and I are here to celebrate. That though we've lived our life totally involved in the world, we know that we're of the Spirit. The ember gets stronger. Flame starts to flicker a bit. And pretty soon you realize that all we're going to do for eternity is sit around the fire.
Feeling lost in the electronic sea in the universe. Electronics capture our consciousness.
I remember as a kid thinking about the future. Fast forward, living in this age of computers. Everybody in their phones like a solitary cell. We don't talk with our tongues, we just text with our thumbs. Cell towers by the schools giving cancer to the young, and we cancel each other. Online you get hung by the jealousy and judgments. Drama to be dealt with in private is public. We starving for substance.
It's all one to one. Put down your smoking gun. It's only what we see. How you choose is what will be. It's all from the earth. Reflections that we birth. Precious metals, salt and sea. It's all one, it's you and me.
Is a sickness that is coming from the identification with separateness, the individual.
Modern technology, double-edged sword. It's everywhere at once, impossible to avoid. The whole world connected through the click of a button. We nuke our own foods in the microwave ovens cause it's quick and convenient. We know the government taking peeks at our email, yet we still need it. Fine print, we don't read it. Take a bite out the apple like Eve didn't eat. But where is it leading?
It's all one to one. But put down your smoking gun. It's only what we see. How you choose is what will be.
Become identified with your individuality. Then your world is populated by them. Them is distant from you.
At the end of the day, all roads lead home. Dorothy meets the Wiz. It is what it is. Perception is everything. Waking up in the dream, we project what we think, but it's not what it seems. Every cell, every atom is connected like a team. We are one in this ocean of life with many streams. Be empowered by the tool, but don't let it use you. Can't Google self-knowledge. Be your own guru.
On the other hand, you can identify with all of it. The universe, or the one. The one is God.
It's all one to one. Put down your smoking gun. It's only what we see. How you choose is what will be. It's all from the earth. Reflections that we birth. Precious metals, salt and sea. It's all one, it's you and me.
The electronics are us and not them. See yourself as part of a culture, as part of nature, as part of the universe, as part of God.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
Our consciousness is one. Your consciousness and my consciousness, it's one. There was a guy, he was a surfer from California. Long hair, all dressed in Indian clothes, beard, beads. I figured that's the person I would go to India with. He said that he was going to take a walking trip in India. What the hell? Yeah. So we started in our walking trip. My feet burned. He said, my guru is up in the hills. So I decided to go up to the mountains with him. And I didn't believe in gurus. The night before we were to arrive at his guru, we had stayed at a house, and I got up to go to the bathroom. And I went outside, and the stars were magnificent. And it was the first time I thought about my mother. She had died 6 months before. She was a soul. I got inside this house, and I hadn't told anybody about this. And the next day we drove on to the guru. Up on that hill, he said, the guru was there off the hill. What was at that top of that hill? And then it was a long, long path to a meadow. In the meadow, there were 20 or 30 people, all dressed in white, around a central figure, an old man with a blanket over his shoulder. And my mind said to me, this is a cult. I won't go any farther. So the old man pointed at me And he said, you were thinking about your mother last night. It was a miracle. I didn't tell anybody about that. Just me. He's privy to my mind. My mind was blown by that miracle. I was thinking, my gosh, he knows my mind. Wow. And I started to think about the thoughts that I had that I wouldn't want anybody to know. And I looked up at him, and he was looking at me with such love, unconditional love. He was loving me with my thoughts, with all of the stuff, with all of the stuff. I never had unconditional love. That moment, I loved everybody. When I looked into his eyes, I loved everybody, including me. From then on, my life was just love, 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 love. Then on, I was identified with my soul. Trees, grasses, water, sun, stars, moon, clouds, rain, all are our friends, are us. Nature embraces us, and we embrace nature.